Hello and welcome to the project. Today we're going to have an exciting day at the project as we're going to light up this burn pile. Before we start, let me say that if you're going to do any type of burn, no matter the size, to make sure you go to your local authorities and you obtain any licenses or anything that you would need to do a burn. It does vary from state to state and the laws are different in each municipality, so make sure that you do that. This pile consists of about an acre to an acre and a half of timber, brush, underbrush, root systems, and even some trash. I did invite an experienced firefighter over who is a good friend of mine to do this burn for me, as he would know what to do in case an emergency broke out. We also waited for near perfect conditions in the weather, as we knew that this day it was going to rain heavily before we lit up the fire. This will do two things at the project. First, it will remove a huge eyesore that's been on our property for about 2 years now. The second thing it will do is it will give me adequate compost, as I will use the residue and the remains of all the burned trees into my vegetable garden as a good compost for my soil. This was a lot of fun and we hope you enjoy it, because where there's fire there is fun, but there's also dangers with it as well. So make sure you take every precaution before you light up any fire. But without further ado, it's time to light it up. As you can see, it doesn't take very long for the fire to get fully engulfed in the burn pile. The pile was sitting around for almost 2 years, and so the wood and all the trash that was in it was dry and it was ripe for burning. In the next 10 or 12 seconds, you're going to see basically this entire burn pile engulfed in flames, and this is where the fun really begins. The pile continued at a steady burn, like you see, for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. The fire got extremely hot, as you would imagine, again, as the fuel inside the fire, which was the trees and the brushes, had been sitting around for 2 years and they were ripe. The grass will begin to catch on fire and we just let it spread. And most of you who are watching this video will know that anytime you burn your grass before the springtime, it does make it greener. And that is because the residue and the ashes from the fire or from the grass actually becomes a nice compost for your soil. And so over the next several months, the ashes from this grass will become a nice compost, and it's what causes our grass to green up. But this is a great steady fire, and as you can see, it is burning just like we need it to burn, even though the wind begins to change directions several different times. It does burn nicely, and it continues to burn, and it burns in control. And this is what is considered a controlled fire. And let me mention that in this fire, we did not use any external fuel, such as gas or diesel fuel. We did not need to. The timber had been sitting around so long that it was ready to burn, and so literally all we did was take a torch and we lit one side, and the wind took over. And as you saw earlier, it engulfed this entire pile in about 35 seconds to a minute. So it took about 2 to 2.5 hours to get to what you're looking at right now. And as you can see, most of the brush has been burned down, and what's left is just the larger root systems and trees. In fact, you'll notice here that even a couple of trees didn't even get into the pile. Now, I did not have any heavy equipment to move this, so I had to just let it burn down. And over the course of the next few weeks, most of it burned down to where all we had was just the dirt that you can see right here, and you can see some of the small sticks and limbs sticking out of the dirt. But for the most part, all of this was gone, and it burned down quite nicely. We had no emergencies. The grass around it burned down nicely, so my grass is going to be nice and green in the springtime. We hope you enjoyed this film. Please subscribe and leave positive comments below, and we look forward to making the next project video for your enjoyment. Thanks and have a great day.